All right, today we're going to be talking about section 11-2, which is sales tax, tips, and commissions. All right, so one of the things we're going to talk about from yesterday was the formula that we talked about, which is percent over 100 equals part over whole. You guys got pretty good at that during class yesterday, and we're going to continue to use that today. Because when we talk about tax, which is something that's paid on top of the price of an item, whether it's food or clothes, you pay extra sales tax. When you go out to dinner, you pay the waitress a tip or the waiter a tip. That's added on to your bill. And then one of the words that you may not have heard about before is commission. That's if you're like a real estate agent and you sell a house, you make commission on the house. Or if you're a car salesman and you sell a car, you make commission. Or some even just sales jobs in retail stores, sometimes you can earn a commission. All right, so all of those things are going to be are going to go in the spot of the part, because that's just a portion of the total amount that you're going to pay. All right, so let's take a look at example A. It says in Massachusetts, the sales tax is 6.25%. If someone buys a sweater for $24.95, what is the total cost including sales tax? All right, so we know that we're going to have to pay, $24.95, plus we got to figure out what the tax is. All right, so when we figure out the tax, we're going to use that formula up above, percent over 100. So right away when we look at the problem, that percent sign should be jumping out at you. So we know it's 6.25% over 100. And then the entire cost of the sweater is $24.95. So that is our whole. And we know that our tax is going to be the part, right? So every time we're looking for tax, tip, or commission, that is going to be the part. All right, so just like we did in class yesterday, we are going to cross multiply. So I get 100x equals, and then go to your calculator, and 625 times 24.95 is 155.9375. Divide both sides by 100. And we get x is equal to, now I get 1.559375. However, if we're talking about money, we only want we want to round to the nearest hundredth, right? So if I cut that off here, remember that 9 tells me that I need to round up. So my tax is going to be $1.56, right? If it's 5 or higher, we round up. If it's 0 to 4, we leave it as $1.55. So again, the problem asks us to find the total cost. So the total cost is the $24.95 plus the $1.56. So if I take $24.95 and add $1.56, my total cost ends up being $26.51. So again, that total cost is the cost of the sweater plus the sales tax. All right, taking a look at example B, it talks about a real estate agent and we're finding commission. So it says the commission is 5% if the agent sells houses that are $400,000, $250,000, and $300,000 in 1 month. What is his commission? Okay, so again, we're going to set up our our proportions. First thing I notice is I see that 5%, so I know it's going to be 5 over 100. And we know that the commission is always going to be the part. The only problem is he sold 3 houses. He sold a $400,000 house. He sold a $250,000 house, and he also sold a $300,000 house. So we've got to add those up because we have to do the total amount, and that ends up being $950,000 worth of sales in 1 month. So my total amount that he sold in terms of the houses was $950,000. All right, so just like we did yesterday, we are going to cross multiply. So going one way, I get 100x, and going the other way, I get 5 times 950,000, which gives me 475 with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros after that. 1, 2, 3, 4. When I divide both sides by 100, that gets rid of 2 of those zeros. and the commission is $47,500. So 5% of that is $47,500. Now, the downside with real estate is the agent doesn't get to keep that. You have to give some if there was another real estate agent, you've got to divide it up for the company that you work for gets a portion of that. So that's not what he actually earns that month, which would be a nice monthly salary. But that's how much commission was earned for that house. All right, so now we're talking about a salesperson at a car dealership. He has a salary of $1,200 per week. He also makes commission. If he had sales of $135,000 in 1 week, what was he paid for that week? So to find the amount that he was paid, we're going to take that $1,200 plus we have to add his commission. Oops. I don't know why that didn't right, so we'll try that again. Plus we have to add his commission. All right, so let's set up our fraction again. So right away, that 2% is jumping out at me. So I know 2 has to go on top out of 100 because it's percent over 100. And he sold a total of $135,000. So that's going to go on the bottom. And remember, his commission is always going to be that part. So when I cross multiply this time, I get 100x going this way. And then I have to take 135,000 and I have to multiply by 2. So that gives me 270,000. Then I've got to divide both sides by 100. Okay, and he makes $2,700 in commission. So that's 2,700. So when we find his total pay, we have to add that $1,200 plus that $2,700. So that means his salary for that month, or he gets paid, I guess we can say, $3,900 that month. Or that week, sorry, that was only for a week. All right, so the next one says 2 businesswomen are having lunch at a restaurant. Their bill came to $47.85. They want to leave an 18% tip, so right away we see that percent. What is the amount of the tip? Okay, so again, this is real life situation. You've gone out to dinner before. Your parents probably paid for it, but they have to leave a tip for the waiter or the waitress. So right away it says we want to leave an 18% tip. So there's our percent out of 100. And the part is always the tax, the tip, or the commission. So that's going to be my X. And your entire bill was $47.85. So again, we just cross multiply. I'm going to write it over here. We get 100x equals, and then I have to do 18 times 47.85. That gives me 861.3. So we could make that 30 cents if we wanted. But either way, we have to divide by 100, and that gives me 8.613. And again, we're talking about money here, so we only want to go 2 decimals. So if I take a look at that third decimal right there, that 3 tells me to leave it, and 861 is the tip that you should leave. Now, realistically, if you were at a restaurant, you'd probably leave $9, maybe $8.50. You wouldn't leave the waitress $8.61, but that's what the tip should be if you want to leave 18%. All right, we've got a few more examples to practice. So I've got a skier that needs to buy new ski poles for a trip to Utah. The price of the poles is $24 and the sales tax is 4.7%. So again, I see that percent right there. What is the total cost of the poles rounded to the nearest cent? So that would be 2 decimal places because we're talking about money. All right, so again, I see that the sales tax is 4.7%. So that's 4.7 over 100. The cost of the poles, right? The tax is going to be our part. The cost of the poles is $24. So all we do is cross multiply once again, and I get 100x equals, and then I have to do 4.7 times 24, which is 112.8. Divide both sides by 100. You guys should be getting really good at setting these up by now. So if I divide by 100, that gives me 1.128. And again, if we're talking money, we only want 2 decimal points. So I got to look at that 8 right there. And that's going to round it up to $1.13 for my tax. But remember, it asked for the total cost of the polls, so I have to take the $24 of the original cost, and then I have to add the sales tax. So that gives me $25.13 for my total cost for the polls. All right, next one says, Josephina likes the service that she received at her favorite cafe, and she wants to leave a 20% tip, and her bill was $22.58. We just did a problem like that. So again, we know that the percentage of the tip is 20%. So we go 20 over 100. The tip is the part. Her whole bill was $22.58. That is the whole. Let's cross multiply again. So I get 100x equals 22.58 times 20, which is 451.6. Divide both sides by 100. When I divide by 100, I get x equals 4.516. And again, we want to only go 2 decimals because we're talking about money. So when I cut it off there, that 6 tells me to make it $4.52. So that would be the tip that you would want to leave. All right, we just got a couple more. It says film studios make a commission for every ticket sold. The movie tickets at Carbob Theaters cost $8.50. The studios earn 40% commission. What amount of the movie ticket do they earn? All right, so again, I see 40%. So I know that's 40 over 100. And it says the whole ticket costs $8.50. So $8.50. We want to find the commission, which is the part. So again, we have to cross multiply. So I get 100x equals 40 times 850, which is 340. And then our last step is to divide both sides by 100, and we end up getting 3.4. So 3.4 isn't really a money amount. So if we want to go, and we could make that 340 cents by putting a 0 at the end. So that means they get $3.40 out of the whole $8.50 ticket for their commission. All right, last one. It says Nick is selling software and earns 12% commission. So again, right away, I see that 12%. So I know that's going up top and 100's going on the bottom. It says if he sells a total of $668 in software this week, how much is his commission? So again, commission is the part. The 668 is what he sold, or the whole. And the last problem, we just need to cross multiply here. So I get 100x equals 12 times 668, which is 8,016. And then we've just got to divide both sides by 100, which gives me $80.16. Again, I don't have to round this one because it's money and it's got our 2 decimal places. So he would earn $80.60 in commission. All right, that's it for today. Go ahead and work on worksheet 11.2. Thank you.